Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is the weekly market analysis. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, do also click on the subscribe button and smash notification bell to get notified whenever I post a new video. Yeah, so we are entering into another week so far as the month of April is concerned, and things hasn't been good. All right, I mean April hasn't really been good as we are expecting to see. All right, yes, last year the month of April was good, but this year, I mean, we are really seeing rough times on the market. Why? We are in an election year so far as the US government is concerned. And whenever there's an election year, things like this happen in the market, all right? I mean, we begin to see rough price actions, all right? Yes, consolidations, not seeing clear price action so far as the market is concerned. And so these things are normal so far as we find ourselves in an election year. And as a matter of fact, it is the last year of a 4-year cycle, or we are ending a 4-year cycle. So the next, or the beginning of another 4-year cycle begins next year. All right. Yeah. So whenever we find ourselves in situations like that, we should expect some roughness on the market. All right. Yeah. So I know most of you are really finding things very, very difficult on the market these days. And so some of you have given up, some of you too are on the verge of giving up. That is one thing that you should never think of doing. All right, that is one thing that you should never think of doing. I've been telling those of you in my Telegram channel that if you have any learning to do, make sure you finish up this year. Because trust me, next year is going to be very interesting on the financial market. Remember, it's an election year, and after the election year, we have a new government coming up with its new policies and all that. And trust me, so far the US government is concerned, it's going to affect the financial market. And so next year is going to be very good. And it's also going to be the first year of a new 4-year cycle. All right. The market comes in cycles, 4-year cycles. All right. Yeah. So you take note of that. All right. So if you're on the verge of giving up, I mean, don't. All right. We find ourselves in tough times. Yes, the market is tough. This is a time that you have to cushion yourself to learn whatever you need to learn and polish up so far as your skill is concerned. All right. Make sure you visit the drawing board week in, week out, and that is going to help you a lot. All right. Yeah. So that is just that. Before we delve into the chat, let's look at the economic news calendar and see what is up for us so far as the economic news for next week is concerned. So on Monday, the April 22nd, 2024, we have the bank service PMI for Australia, bank manufacturing PMI for Australia. On Tuesday, we have manufacturing PMI for France, service PMI for France. We have service PMI for Germany, manufacturing PMI for Germany, manufacturing PMI for Eurozone, service PMI for the Eurozone. We have global manufacturing PMI for GBP, global service PMI for GBP. We have global manufacturing PMI for USD, global service PMI for USD. We have the new home sales for USD. We have new home sales month over month for USD. On Wednesday, April 24th, 2024, we have the RBA trimmed mean CPI quarter over quarter for Australia. We have the monthly CPI indicator for Australia. We have the weighted mean CPI year over year for Australia. We have CPI for Australia. We have the RBA weighted median CPI quarter over quarter for the first quarter so far as Australia is concerned. We have inflation rate year over year for the first quarter for Australia. We have the trimmed median CPI year over year for the first quarter for Australia. We have business climate for the month of April for Germany. We have retail sales excluding autos month over month for Canada. We have retail sales year over year for Canada. We have retail sales month over month for Canada. We have durable goods orders month over month for the month of March for USD. We have durable goods orders excluding defense month over month for USD. We have durable goods orders excluding transport month over month for USD. On Thursday, the April 25th, 2024, we have the consumer confidence for Germany. We have GDP growth rate quarter over quarter so far the first quarter is concerned for USD. All right, this news is going to be really something I'll be looking out for because we're going to have a greater impact on the market as far as going into next week is concerned. So take note of that. We have goods trade balance for USD. We have jobless claims for a week average for USD. We have initial jobless claims for USD. We have continuing jobless claims for USD. On Friday, the April 26, 2024, we have interest rate decisions as far as the Bank of Japan is concerned, we look at how it is going to pan out. All right, yeah. So take note of that. We have unemployment rates for the first quarter for Spain, retail sales month over month for Spain. We have retail sales year over year for Spain. We have Bank Austria manufacturing PMI for Eurozone. That is so far as Austria is concerned. We have ECB speech for Eurozone. We have the core PCE price index year over year for the month of March for USD. We have core PCE price index month over month for USD. We have personal income month over month for USD. We have personal spending month over month for USD. Then we have the Michigan consumer sentiment for USD. So these are the high impact news that we are expecting to see on the market so far as going into next week is concerned. Let's now delve into the chart and see what is happening. We start with the dollar index. Before we come to the daily time frame, I want us to look at something on the weekly time frame. All right. So on the weekly time frame, we've seen the dollar index not really giving us a clear direction for some time now. All right, yeah. So more or less like a consolidation phase on the weekly time frame. All right, yeah. So as it stands now, the dollar index is within this range low and this range high. All right, yeah. So within the range, this is the lowest low and this is the highest high of the range. All right, yeah. So we take this as our dealing range. So as it stands now, if we should check or if we should measure this range, we realize that the dollar index is currently in a premium zone. All right, the dollar index is in a premium zone. So this is a equilibrium level, there's a discount, there's a premium zone. And what we do in the premium zone, that is where we look out for bearish scenarios. All right, yeah. So if we should switch to the daily time frame, realize that price tap into what I spoke about, this was volume imbalance last week. All right, yes. And finally we've seen price tapping into the volume imbalance. So going into next week, if we should see price closing below, taking out Friday's low. All right, yeah. So this is Friday's low we are seeing here. All right, this Friday's low. If we should see price closing below Friday's low, then definitely we are going to see price continue to push to the downside to fill out this liquidity void into the fair value gap we are seeing here. All right, there's a fair value gap right here. This fair value gap I'm talking about. All right, this high, the low here. All right, and then the high here. All right, so these are fair value gaps. So definitely, if we see a closure below Friday's low going into next week, then definitely we see price push to the downside, giving us a bearish sentiment into this fair value gap we are seeing here before we see price move to wherever it wants to move to. All right, yeah. So as it stands now, I'm expecting price to push to the downside so far as going into next week is concerned. So I'm bearish on the dollar index going into next week. All right, yeah. So that is just that. Let's switch to the 4 hour to see something. Yeah. So be on the lookout for this low. All right, yeah. So be on the lookout for this low. Once we see price taking out and closing below this low, then we see price push to the downside. And mind you, price is what is above April's opening price, so it makes sense if you begin to want to look for bearish scenarios. So that is just that so far as the dollar index is concerned. Let's go what is happening on GBPUSD. Yeah, so for GBPUSD, we are really seeing price giving us a bearish sentiment. All right, we've taken out this low and price is what's currently within, or price is heading towards this fair value gap we are seeing here. All right, so this low right here and then this low. All right, yeah. So I'm looking out for bearish scenarios so far as the dollar index is concerned. And so as a matter of fact, I'm looking out to see price give us a push to the upside so far as GBPUSD is concerned. All right, yes, a push to the upside, at least to take out this buy side liquidity here before we see price continue to push to wherever it wants to move to. But going into next week, looking at the nature of GBPUSD and what I'm expecting to see on dollar index, my focus wouldn't be so much on GBPUSD, because at the end of the day, GBPUSD is giving us a what is giving us bearish signals on the daily time frame, and hasn't given out as any sign of a reversal. All right, it hasn't given us any sign of a reversal. So until I see that sign, or until I see any reversal, I'm going to be silent on GBPUSD for now. All right, yeah. So that is just that for GBPUSD. Look at what is happening on AUDUSD. Yeah, so for AUDUSD, unlike GBPUSD, AUDUSD is really giving us something to work with. All right, Friday we saw price was taking out, giving us this low. All right, it took out this sell side liquidity we are seeing here, and once it took out the sell side liquidity, we saw what a quick rejection. And so as it stands now, going into next week, so far as I'm bearish on the dollar index, then definitely I'm looking forward for bullish prices so far as AUDUSD is concerned, in that I don't want to see Friday's low attacked. All right, I don't want to see Friday's low attack, or even if we see Friday's low being attacked, I want to see a closure above Friday's low, then we see a push to the upside. All right, yeah, so going into next week, I don't want to see this low being attacked. All right, yes, I want to see price push a little bit here, then we see a push to the upside, but I'll also be on the lookout for this high. All right, yeah, so far as taking trades is concerned, I'll only jump into a long-term trade so far as AUDUSD is concerned if I should see price push up to take out this high and then close above it. Once we see a closure above it, then definitely I would want to see price push to the upside. And bear in mind, price is trading below April's opening price, and so it makes perfectly sense for me to be looking at for bullish scenarios so far as this very particular market is concerned. All right, yeah, so for AUDUSD, I'll be looking out for bullish prices so far as going into next week is concerned. Yeah, so that is just that for AUDUSD. Let's go what is happening on USDCAD. For USDCAD, I posted a trade on the free community, or in my community. Was it Thursday or Friday? Yeah, I think it's Thursday. All right, I posted a bearish sentiment or a sell setup. All right, I'm expecting to see USDCAD push to the downside into this fair value gap we are seeing here. All right, yes, I'm coming. Let me just extend this for you to see. Yeah, so this fair value gap. So let's move to the 4-hour time frame to see the trade I posted. Yes, so I'm expecting to see price push all the way to this zone right here. All right, yeah, so those of you who took the trade, yes, just be relaxed. All right, yes, I'm looking out to see price push to the downside. If you miss this trade also, what you can do is to be patient, wait for the market to open, and then expect to see a little bit of retracement. All right, you see this bearish candle right here. All right, you can use that as your as a breaker block, or as a bearish breaker block, because it's the last down close kind of proud to price would move into the to the upside, or you can use that as a mitigation block. Sorry, yes, you can use that as a mitigation block. Let me just change the color to a color that will be able to differentiate. Yeah, so you can use this as a mitigation block, so that if price should push a little bit up, you look out for you go onto the lower time frame to look out for an entry, then make sure your stop loss would be right here. Then you also would enter to look out for price pushing to the downside. I'm targeting 231 pips. All right, yes, I'm targeting 231 pips so far as USDCAD is concerned. Yeah, so for USDCAD, I'm bearish on this very market, so kindly take note of that. So that is just that for USDCAD. Let's look at what is happening on GBPJPY. For the JPY pace, I mean, we've had rough times. All right, the market has been rough on the JPY pace, because if you should look at the daily, we realize that we are we've been in the consolidation phase for some time now. The market hasn't really been clear. All right, yeah, so if you have really been taking up some losses on the JPY pace, it's normal. All right, I've also been facing some couple of losing trades so far as the JPY pairs are concerned, because we haven't really seen a very clear market at the moment. All right, so the market is what is in a rough state. So far as we are in a consolidation, all you have to do is what is look out for your highest high, which is this zone right here, and then your lowest low, which is this zone right here. All right, yeah. So you wait for price to trade out of the zones. You wait for price to move out of the zone. So if you see price trade or violate this high right here, for price to what to move, continue moving to the upside, it needs to what to close above it. Let me switch the 4-hour time frame so that things will be clear for us. Yeah, so just as I was talking about, all right, yeah. So we realize that we are in a consolidation phase. The GBPJPY has been consolidating for some time now. So this is within the consolidation phase. This is our lowest low. This is our highest high. So in a condition like this, you really have to be very, very patient. All right, you have to be patient. Make sure your price trades out of these zones. Make sure price trades out of these zones. So if you actually see price violate this low, you wait for a closure below the low. You have to see price closing below this low before you decide on taking a bearish move. On the other hand, if you should see price violate this high, for price to continue to push to the upside, you should see price close above it. If you should see price closing below it, that should be a sign of a bearish movement. All right, that should be a sign of a bearish movement. And then also, if you should see price push and then close above this low right here, that should be a sign of a bullish movement. And so you begin to look out for buy setups. But if you should see a closure below this low, all right, if you should see price close below it, all right, that should be a sign of a bearish movement. So kindly take note of that. All right, don't just wait for a violation above or below. After the violation, where is price closing? Is it closing below the low or above the low? All right, if price violates the high, does it close above the high or below the low? Sorry, below the high. If you close below the high, then you should take note that all right, it's just a liquidity sweep, and for that matter, you look for a bearish scenarios. If price violates a low and then close above the low, know that it is a liquidity sweep, and we are looking for and as a matter of fact, you look for a bullish scenario. All right, yeah. So that is just that. Make sure you take note of whatever I have said. If you didn't get to, just go and then play it back, because I mean it's really a nugget I've given you. All right, that if you should follow it, you wouldn't really find yourself in taking trades that will end you in unnecessary losses. All right, yeah. So if you didn't really get what I said, you can just go back and listen to it again and take note of that. Yeah, so that is just that so far as GBPJPY is concerned. Let's go what is happening on AUDJPY. Yeah, so let's switch to the daily and see what is happening on a daily time frame. Yeah, so this is AUDJPY. So unlike what we saw on GBPJPY, for AUDJPY, although it has also been consolidating, but see what happened on Friday. We saw a push to the downside, taking out all these sell side liquidity we are seeing here. And so going into next week, if you have to see price continue to push to the upside, all right, if you see price continue to push to the upside, then we don't want to see Friday's low attack. We don't want to see price go near this low. All right, we want to see price just come here a little bit, then we see a push to the upside. All right, I think AUDJPY is clear as compared to GBPJPY, and so take note of that. All right, yeah. So for AUDJPY, it's still giving us that bullish sentiment. All right, so going into next week, we expect to see price push a little bit to the zone, then we see a push to the upside. All right, yes. But if it happens that we see price pushing down and giving us this kind of price action, definitely we will expect to see price continue to push to the downside. So kindly take note of whatever will happen especially on Monday. All right, then we see how price will react. Remember, we have an interest rate announcement for the Bank of Japan within the week, so that is going to really give us some significant movement on the market. All right, yes, so you take note of that. So that is just that. So far as AUD/JPY is concerned, let's go what is happening on CHF/JPY. Yeah, so for CHF/JPY, price took out this high. All right, unlike what happened on AUD/JPY, and so as it stands now, we are still not clear. All right, price is still not really giving us a clear movement. All right, yeah, so as compared to what we've seen on GBPJPY and AUD/JPY, CHF/JPY is also giving us something different. All right, it's giving us something different. So I'll just not talk much about it. Look at what will happen. I'll just observe what will happen within the week, and then if there's any changes, I'll let you know within my Telegram channel. All right, yeah, so that is just that. So far as going into a new week is concerned, if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, don't forget to click on the subscribe button and smash notification bell to get notified whenever I post a new video. And the link to my Telegram community too is in the description box below. Just hit on it and then be part of the my Telegram community. My swing trading room or my VIP room too is open. All right, I post swing setups. All right, I post swing setups trades with 200 pips plus profit. All right, yes, the least amount of pips per setup I give is 100 pips. I don't go below 100 pips. All right, yes, so that is swing setups for you. So if you're interested, my Telegram ID is in the description box below. Hit on it and then get in touch with me on Telegram so that I sign you up in my VIP room. All right, yeah, so that is just that for the weekly market analysis. For my daily reviews, I'm really facing issues at my end. All right, that is, I mean, the location I find myself in. I mean, if we are having issues with power outages and all that, so that is what is preventing me from bringing you the daily market update. But I'm just hoping things are going to be resolved as soon as possible, because it's really worrying. It's really worrying. The last time I made up my mind to give you guys the daily market update, as soon as I sat behind my PC, the light went off, so I didn't have any means of internet to record and then post. So that is one of the issues that I'm facing in the area or in the location I find myself. So kindly be patient with me, and then let's hope things are being resolved as soon as possible, so that I'll be able to bring you the daily market updates as I used to. All right, yeah, so that is just that for the weekly market analysis. I wish you all good luck and good trade. Peace.